welcome back. We are going to start putting our decking boards on the deck. We don't have much to cut around this time because we don't have railing, so I've just got these two posts I have to cut around and that's it. We are going to start our decking boards from the outside edge and work our way this way. They're going to run this way so that we don't have to have butt joints, and we will always start our deck on the outside edge so that if we have to rip a piece, the ripped piece goes against the brick wall. All right, so as we're laying down our decking boards, there are two things that you need to remember. One is that when you go to the store, if you go to the store, and there are two different grades, there's standard and there's premium, you are getting what you pay for when you buy premium. So I will not put standard on any of my jobs unless the customer demands it. In this case, the customer demands it, so that's what we're doing. But the premium boards are easier to work with, and you're gonna wrestle them a lot less to keep them straight. The second thing that you need to know, a carpenter, a fine carpenter would tell you that you need to place the board like this. In reality, when you're doing a deck, you just pick the best side of the board and have it face up. These, because the trees that these are coming from are so small, in some cases, these will not dry out necessarily always the way that they're supposed to and curl. So generally, if I were gonna place this, I'd want to place it this way because it will actually curl opposite the grain pattern. But in this case, this is the better side of the board, so I'm gonna place this board like this. I'm looking over here at some of these other boards, and some of these older ones are curled the way that I just said against the grain pattern. I've got one here that's curled the opposite way that it should be because you can tell the heart of the tree was right here. And so it curled all funky. It's a really bad board. I'm not even gonna use this one. But the trees that we're getting these from now aren't the best. And so you really just need to pick the best side of the board and have it face up. All right, so the time has come for us to start cutting around posts, and I wanna take a moment to show you how I do that. It's pretty basic. You can come in a little closer. Regular post is supposed to be 3.5 inches wide, but it's actually a little more than that, 3 9/16, 3 5/8. And you want to give yourself a little bit of space around that post. If you make it too tight, you have a chance that you'll actually knock off the end of your board, and you don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use my speed square. I'm going to go ahead and cut 3 5/8. This is just a sample board, so I don't actually have a post that I'm trying to cut around. So I'm going to go ahead and make my measurement with the speed square. Use the back of the speed square here. So this would be like for a starter post if I was on the edge of the deck and a 1.5 inch board were right there. This is how I would cut it. Now, when I am doing my post, you can do the whole thing with a jigsaw, but I find that a circular saw cuts that a lot faster, cuts it a lot more accurate. Jigsaws, once they've been used for a while, the blade will have a tendency to have a little bow to it, and that means that when you're cutting this, the cut will have a little bow to it unless you allow for that. So I just use this. It's a straight up and down cut. Set the bottom all the way down so that you've got a good angle. Come around here. I'm going to cut on the inside of my mark. Then I grab the jigsaw. And I'm going to cut all the way to the end of the mark because that blade left a little curve at the bottom of the cut. I'll cut all the way to the end of my mark and then I'll curve it and come back. is how I cut around. Now my blade is a little curved the way most of them are, so I'll take a little bit more off of there, take a little more off of here, just to clean it up. This board's going to reduce in size anyway, so you're gonna have a little bit of gap once this board dries out around your post, so I wouldn't worry about getting super close to your post. You really want to have a little bit of space because you don't want to accidentally knock this off trying to get too tight. All right, so last week we got a bunch of boards on and then we ran into a bunch of calls. So I've got to finish that little section back there. And then here along the front, we're gonna build steps all the way around the outside of the deck, including around this corner and all the way back to the house. We'll get that done today. And then hopefully a little bit later this week, we'll get on building that pergola. All right. We finally got all the decking boards on. Really spent about half the day searching through lumber piles, finding good enough decking boards to put on this deck. But they're on it, and now I'm about to start stringing all these stringers to build the stairs all the way around the thing.